Okay, so the theme I want to go with is the idea of business and competition, mainly about companies that are too big to fail. And I kept this presentation kind of broad, so that kind of questions I would like to ask or explore. What does it mean to be too big to fail? How does a company get there? Does government have a large role in allowing these companies to exist? Do they go out of the way to let them exist, or do they just let it happen and not do anything about it? And then also, from a worker's perspective, how is it working for big business compared to small business, and how competition affects the way they work at their business? And so, what is too big to fail? There was this reform called the, oh shoot, I got the wrong paper. It's this one. So there's this thing known as the Dodd-Frank Financial Reform Act that was very popular in the news for the longest time. And it was pretty much a set of federal regulations aimed at reducing risk in certain parts of the U.S. financial system. And one of the ways they went at this was declaring or making government agencies to keep track of businesses that are too big to fail. And the way they labeled these companies were systematically important. And what that means is they're so big and their financial transactions are so widespread that if this company failed, it could potentially cause a financial crisis. And so with this, they pretty much back up these companies and they don't allow them to fail. So what this allows these companies to do is it allows them to have a greater edge as far as competition goes, because it allows them to take bigger risks, and if they fail, the government will back them up and bail them out. And that just allows them to take even more risks. And it's just to me, it's just like a perpetuating cycle. And so the difference between small and large companies is pretty big. Large companies are more streamlined, so the work environment is a lot more professional, and people who work there are a lot more specialized in what they do. Like a big company will hire people for a specific role, as opposed to a small company. People working in a small company might have a larger role because they don't have that many employees or as big of a workforce. And so large companies, they're able to give their customers, most of the time, more benefits, more funds for their projects. And then small companies, they're a lot more localized in the community. It allows them to have a personal touch to their companies. And the way small companies beat large companies is that they're on a more personal level with their customers. And that's really one of the only big things that they have. And also just a public perception that small businesses are not as evil as the large ones. And that's pretty much all I kept it to for this presentation. And so what I think this is really important is because competition defines who we are as humans. From an economist's point of view, entrepreneurs invest in technology so their company could become more efficient and more competitive. And that's the reason why new technology is able to form. And even from when we're little kids, the stereotype kind of view is making a lemonade stand to make some kind of money. So competition starts at a very young age. And we are in the middle of competition, but for a very different reason. And I think competition in economics can be tied to so many things. And so many things too. We go back to geography, tying for resources, and go back to psychology, how people behave to be the best.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
Okay, so you told us that the people actually have a negative perception of big businesses. My question is is the negative perception of big business actually true? Because as much as I know, big business is actually what make all the economy run and give jobs to it. Why is everybody being so mad at it?
And my question sort of goes towards what are the ramifications of not letting big business fail, and what are the ramifications of letting big business fail? So sort of competitively, which is better and worse and why?
Okay. So my question for you was, I wasn't 100%, okay, I understood that it was big and small business, and I was just wondering personally if you were to decide what direction we were going to take, what would it be?
Okay. Big business and small business. I'm like wondering where do you want us to look? Where do you want us to focus? Like, should big business too big to fail? Okay, how about small businesses? I think the small businesses come as a result of the big businesses. So where do you want us to look at specifically? Like, do we focus on the fact that big businesses are too big to fail? Why should they be too big to fail? Or why should they not fail?
So what Adam and Emma articulated suggests, at least to me, that that part of your presentation was especially interesting. To bail out or not to bail out, that is the question.
All right, sounds good. We'll begin our 2-minute transition, and if you could please rotate